Altcoin season is in full swing, with explosive moves happening all around the market. But there's one coin that's staying quiet: CRO. Has it been left behind, or is it just waiting for its moment? Today we're uncovering the full story. Welcome to AI Crypto Pulse, your daily dose of crypto updates, AI-driven insights, and market trends. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest in crypto and blockchain technology. Let's start by looking at the general market mood. Some altcoins are absolutely thriving right now. For example, Dogecoin saw a significant jump today, climbing double digits and reigniting excitement among its holders. Other coins like Shiba Inu also made notable moves, which tells us that there's a lot of speculative energy circulating in the market. But then we have coins like Cronos, or CRO, that seem to be sitting quietly on the sidelines, almost as if they weren't invited to the party. If we check out the broader market performance, it's clear that CRO isn't experiencing the same momentum. Today, CRO is down roughly 1%, and over the past week, it's fallen by about 7%. That's a stark contrast to many other altcoins that are seeing sharp upward moves. Essentially, while the old coins, like Doge, Shiba Inu, and others, are having fun, CRO seems to be holding steady at lower levels, not yet joining in on the excitement. So, why is that happening? To understand, we need to step back and look at the recent trends and news surrounding CRO. Over the last 90 days, some coins have absolutely outperformed Bitcoin, and if you check the Altcoin Season Index, you'll notice that many altcoins have been riding higher than BTC. For instance, Pengu has been performing spectacularly and is currently the crown prince of altcoins this year. CRO has also had a strong run recently, up about 175% over the last 90 days, largely fueled by news around the Cronos Treasury Company, which is linked to Trump's treasury. However, it's important to note that this company isn't live yet. Because it's listed on the Nasdaq, it first needs SEC approval, and that process can take some time. So much of the recent CRO surge from around 15 cents to nearly 39 cents has been driven by hype and FOMO. A lot of investors who had never interacted with CRO before jumped in, drawn by excitement and speculation. Now, here's the tricky part. While CRO was surging, other altcoins began to attract attention as well. Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and several others started moving significantly, which naturally drew some speculative energy away from CRO. This is likely why we're starting to see CRO flatten out and consolidate around 25 cents. In many ways, this could be establishing a new baseline or normal for the token in the short term. Let's also consider some technical indicators. Over the past few weeks, CRO has been on a strong upward trajectory, which is visible in the Relative Strength Index, or RSI. Currently, we're no longer in the overbought zone, but the RSI remains elevated. Historically, high RSI levels indicate that a token has experienced significant buying pressure and might be due for a pullback or consolidation. Some value investors might even be waiting for CRO to cool off further before considering new positions, hoping for a retest of key support levels before the next big move. If we reflect on CRO's historical patterns, particularly the 2021 fractal, there are some interesting parallels. Back then, CRO experienced a parabolic rise after major announcements, but that move eventually became overextended before settling into a more sustainable trend. Right now, CRO seems to be undergoing a similar process. Initial hype pushing prices up, followed by a period of flattening and consolidation as the market catches its breath. Speaking of historical context, it's worth noting that September tends to be a volatile month for CRO, just like it was in 2021. Back then, we saw wild swings of minus 30% to plus 30% within the same month, ultimately ending September with a modest gain before a big rally later in the year. If history repeats itself, we could see CRO experience more short-term downside before it climbs higher again. Based on previous patterns, a dip to around 21 cents in September isn't out of the question, but there's also potential for upward movement as we approach the end of the month. One major factor to watch is the upcoming FOMC meeting on September 17th. Interest rate decisions often create significant market reactions, and this could trigger movements in both directions for CRO and other altcoins. It's a key event that could either reignite buying momentum or serve as a sell the news scenario. Either way, traders and investors should pay close attention and be prepared for volatility. Now, let's talk about the path to altcoin season and how CRO fits into the bigger picture. In previous videos, we've discussed this multi-phase process, and it's helpful to recap. Phase 1 began with Bitcoin reaching new all-time highs. Phase 2 saw Ethereum doing the same. Now we're in a transitional phase between Phase 2 and Phase 3, where large-cap altcoins like BNB, XRP, and Solana start hitting new highs. Phase 4 is the true altcoin season, the period when speculative energy surges across smaller tokens and people start selling NFTs, collectibles, or lesser-known altcoins for astronomical gains. CRO, in this context, is one of the last coins to make its move. The final surge in 2021 began around November, when CRO was hovering around 20 cents. Within a month, it jumped to 96 cents, a nearly five-fold increase. At that time, Ethereum was already approaching its all-time highs, but CRO was just starting its journey. This shows that even as major coins mature, there are specific windows when altcoins like CRO can experience explosive growth. With all that said, does this mean CRO will continue to decline in the short term? Unfortunately, no one has a crystal ball. We do know that CRO recently fell below its 21-day simple moving average and is approaching the previous low set before the Truth Social news. There's also the 50-day moving average, which is rising, but it's too early to say definitively where the price will settle. One indicator to watch closely is the daily RSI. While it's still above the neutral zone, some reversals often occur around the 50 level. If that happens, we could see a bounce that aligns with broader market movements. Ultimately, CRO's journey is a reminder that crypto markets don't move in a straight line. There are phases, cycles, and historical patterns that can help guide expectations, but volatility is always part of the equation. For CRO holders, this is a period of patience and observation. The hype has subsided, consolidation is taking place, and the market is recalibrating. The true breakout may still be ahead, but for now, it's about understanding where CRO sits in the broader altcoin landscape. So to summarize, altcoin season is in full swing, but CRO hasn't fully joined the party yet. Recent hype around the Cronos Treasury Company fueled a massive surge, but as other tokens move, some investors have shifted their focus. Technical indicators like the RSI suggest we're in a high-level, potentially overbought zone, and historical patterns hint at further short-term consolidation. September promises volatility, especially with the FOMC meeting, and while we can anticipate possible dips, the long-term trajectory could still be positive if CRO follows its historical path. That's it for today's deep dive on CRO and the current altcoin landscape. If you're holding CRO, stay patient, watch key levels, and pay attention to market-moving events. And of course, remember that crypto investing always comes with risk, so do your research and make informed decisions. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest crypto news and insights.